Hello and welcome to Football Daily. Yes, it's early, but today we bring you a team of players who are out of contract in the summer of 2017 and will be free to negotiate with clubs in January. Goalkeeper, Iker Casillas. Real Madrid legend Casillas is in between the sticks in R11, as the Spaniard is entering his last 6 months of his contract at Porto. Despite this, Iker is still a starter for the Dragons, keeping 6 clean sheets in 10 league games for the club so far this season. The World Cup and 3-time Champions League winner will be 36 next summer, but when you look in Italy and see Buffon still churning out consistent performances for Juve aged 38, there's no reason why a top club shouldn't take a gamble on the stopper. Porto haven't won the league in 3 years and are currently 5 points off leaders Benfica, but despite Casillas' future being uncertain, they'll still be relying on him for commanding performances throughout the season. Right back, Antonio Valencia. Beating out Zabaleta and Ivanovic for the right-back slot is Manchester United's Antonio Valencia. A £16 million signing from Wigan in 2009, the Ecuadorian can play in defence or midfield and has staked his claim to the fullback role since Jose Mourinho's arrival at Old Trafford. Now 31, Valencia has perhaps lost a step but remains one of United's fastest players, bursting in behind opposition defences and clocking up 20 goals and 42 assists in more than 250 Premier League games. Currently, Valencia is keeping Darmian out the team, but with Mourinho's taste for new expensive signings, he may find himself ousted from the starting 11 next year. And with a weekly wage of £85,000, Valencia could be too pricey to sit on the bench. Centre-back, Thiago Silva. PSG captain Thiago Silva is a 5-time title winner and was once named by AC Milan legend Franco Baresi as the world's best central defender. However, he almost died at age 19 when he contracted tuberculosis at Dynamo Moscow and was hospitalised. After recovering, Silva decided to retire from the game, but his mother persuaded him to continue, and he became a cultured and respected defender. With his contract running down, Juventus have reportedly targeted the centre-back, but the Brazilian has stated his desire to stay in Paris. However, the emergence of youngster Presnel Kimpembe and the continued excellence of Marquinhos have given the Parisians hope of a fresh new backline. Will Thiago still be in France in 2018 though? Vote in the poll right now. Centre-back, Pepe. Pepe had one of the greatest seasons of his career in 2015-16. The big man was a rock as Real Madrid won the Champions League, that's Pepe's second, and Portugal won their first ever international competition at Euro 2016. The Brazilian-born defender may lack the playmaking brilliance of Bonucci or Boateng, but there is no one tougher at the back, and Pepe has been angling for a new deal at the Bernabeu. But with his 34th birthday set to fall before the end of the 2016-17 season, and Varane on the bench, Real Madrid have been reluctant to give in. However, Los Blancos are banned from making signings in the next 2 windows, and with Pepe free to talk to clubs in January, don't be surprised if they bite the bullet and write their other Portuguese star a big cheque. Left back, Jetro Willems. Dutch fullback Willems hit the headlines back in 2012 as he became the youngest player ever to appear at a European Championship, as he played in every one of Holland's disastrous tournament matches. He has since slipped under the radar, perhaps for the better though, as his best season since was in 14-15, where he scored twice and got 12 assists in the Eredivisie. Jetro was sadly unable to build on this though, as he suffered a serious knee injury at the start of the following season. Willems has won the Eredivisie 2 times on the bounce now, and might be tempted to venture into pastures new with his contract expiring in the summer. Undoubtedly, he'd have many keen suitors, as he's still only 22 years of age. Central midfield, Daniele De Rossi. Despite spending 15 years in the Roma team, Daniele De Rossi has never won Serie A, with the Giallorossi's last title coming whilst he was still a youth player. However, the tough tackling midfielder is a World Cup winner, and at his peak was one of the world's best central midfielders. Nicknamed the vice-captain thanks to the seniority of the great Francesco Totti, De Rossi is equally adept at breaking up attacks or controlling games with his underrated passing, and it seems honesty is one of his strengths too. When asked whether he'd follow Andrea Pirlo in spending his career twilight at Juventus, he said, "Juve have what it takes to sign younger and better players than me. We can't imagine Roma without DDR, so let's hope a deal can be thrashed out soon." Centre mid, Fernandinho. Fernandinho cost Manchester City £30 million in 2013, a hefty fee for a player who was already 28. In fact, Goal.com named him one of the most overpriced transfers that year, saying there's not much difference between him and Paulinho, who cost £13 million less. Needless to say, that particular article did not age well. Fernandinho meshed perfectly with Yaya Toure, his energy and quality on the ball enabling the Ivorian to get forward and pick up 20 league goals that season as City won the title. During the Brazilians' time at the Etihad, City have a 61.6% win rate in the league. In games featuring Fernandinho, that jumps to 63%. And now under Guardiola, Fernandinho has reinvented himself as a lone pivot, with the Catalans saying he can play in 10 positions. Though goalkeeping may be beyond him, we expect to see a contract on the table pretty damn soon. Right wing, Arjen Robben. Bayern Munich star Arjen Robben may well sign a new contract with the German Giants, but currently the Dutchman could leave for nothing in 2017. Robben turns 33 in January, but is yet to lose his explosive pace, and despite suffering regular injuries, has scored or assisted 128 goals in just 148 Bundesliga games. Robben is in his 8th season at Bayern now, and has 5 Bundesliga winners' medals as well as a Champions League one too. He has also been a champion in the Netherlands, UK and Spain, while his deadly left foot propelled the Dutch national team to 2nd and 3rd place finishes at the last 2 World Cups. But with Douglas Costa and Kingsley Coman staking their claims to first team slots, Robben's reign on the right wing may soon be over. Left wing, Franck Ribéry. The other half of Bayern's robbery duo, Ribéry is already 33. Boy, is it starting to show, with the Frenchman making just 33 Bundesliga appearances in the last 3 seasons. However, the talent is clearly still there, with Ribéry having passed a century of assists in the German league, whilst bagging more than 70 goals. Capped 80 times for France, Ribéry will complete a decade in Bavaria in 2017, and has written his name in Bayern's history, winning the league in 6 of his 9 completed seasons at the club. However, after missing more than 100 games in the last 3 years through injury, Ribéry might be too risky to earn a new deal. Undeniably a modern great, Ribéry is still a world-class player on his day. It just remains to be seen how many of those days are left. Centre mid, Santi Cazorla. Santiago Cazorla has already said that he wants to sign a new deal with Arsenal, but the little magician is yet to get his payday. Frankly, the delay is ridiculous, with the Spaniard one of the Gunners' most consistent players since his arrival in 2012, scoring and assisting 60 goals in just 129 league matches. Cazorla is 32 in December 2016, but whilst his pace has diminished, his dribbling skills and two-footedness make him incredibly resistant to pressing, able to scamper away from opponents with ease, and that's vital in a league with aggressive pressing systems under Klopp, Pochettino and Guardiola. Arsenal's player of the season in his first year in London, Cazorla cost Wenger just £15 million from Malaga. That's half of Moussa Sissoko, and barely more than Ryan Mason. His guile and vision keep Arsenal ticking, and without him, they often feel like a time bomb. Striker, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Contrary to reports, Zlatan signed for Man United on a 1-year contract, with the option for a 2nd year, and could leave the club next summer if the Red Devils underperform. Despite a stellar 38 goals and 13 assists in his last year at PSG, there were doubts over whether or not the Swede could still produce at the highest level before he joined the English outfit. We needn't have worried though, as Ibra's netted 4 in his first 4 games for the club, with his 6'5" frame allowing him to dominate Premier League defenders, and his agility seems unimpaired by age too, bagging a fantastic volley against Man City and seeing a scissor kick saved against Burnley. Despite a 6-game goalless streak, his longest in 9 years, Ibra now has 8 in 17 in Manchester, and if the club misses out on Champions League football, there's no doubt he'll find suitors in 2017. So there we have it, but what do you guys at home think? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, why don't you click here for loads more great content and down there to subscribe. And as always guys, we'll catch you later.